I didn't get to do a Raw review this week, but everybody's asked for my take on the controversial CM Punk, Paul Heyman, Jerry the King Lawler, and Mick Foley segment that happened this previous week on Monday Night Raw. Now, my take on this situation is this. They turned a real-life situation into a storyline. The real-life situation being what happened to Jerry the King Lawler, him being clinically dead, him being revived, and the rehabilitation that he had to go through. I mean, 1 out of every 250 cases makes it, and Jerry the King Lawler is that statistic. He is that one. He is the one who made it. And as a wrestling fan and as a fellow human being, I'm very happy to see Jerry the King Lawler still alive, still able to do what he loves to do, and back doing what he loves to do right alongside, well, maybe not alongside Michael Cole, but back on Monday Night Raw. No jokes aside, I think Michael Cole is the utmost professional, and I think he plays his role very well. I mean, a lot of people might disagree with me about that, but that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. Now, the situation that happened, you had Jerry the King Lawler return, then you had CM Punk come out. He ran down Jerry the King Lawler, then Paul Heyman faked a heart attack, CM Punk quote-unquote brought him back to life, and then you had Mick Foley come out and probably cut one of the best promos that Mick Foley has done in, God, the last 5, maybe even the last 10 years. There was so much emotion. There was so much feeling. It felt so real. And that's the issue right now in professional wrestling. The fans know what's going on. The internet has allowed them to break the fourth wall. Fans know what's going on. So when you can have a segment that, just for a second, that suspension of disbelief, could this be real? It hooks them in. It makes them interested once again. So you had Mick Foley with just so much fire. And then you had CM Punk, who, you know, he's mad because he's not getting the respect he deserves. And he looks at Jerry Lawler as the person who set this whole thing in motion. Remember, Jerry Lawler did make a comment. CM Punk's heel turn started. And that was before Lawler, you know, the situation happened. So it was the natural progression of the storyline. And I think a lot of people are not understanding that at the same time, this is a story. It is a form of entertainment. Now, the debate would be more, is this in good taste or is this in bad taste? Now, me personally, I kind of fall right in the middle. Now, as a fan of wrestling, as a person that wants to see the WWE succeed and wants to see that next big storyline, I see where it's a good idea. And I did read some news reports here on the internet. I wish I remembered the source off the top of my head, but it did come from one of the major wrestling news sites. And they said that this whole storyline has been set in motion for the last few weeks. All the parties involved agreed upon this beforehand. Lawler knew what was going to happen. CM Punk, Paul Heyman, and Mick Foley all knew what was going to happen. You guys got to remember, it's a show. Everything is pre-arranged. And like I said, good taste, bad taste, I kind of fall in the middle. I understand why they did it. And at the same right, you know, I don't like to see them capitalizing off a tragedy like this. I don't want to see something like that. But they did take a negative and potentially turn it into a positive. And the positive is they're going to push the rating up. They're going to push the buy rate up for Survivor Series, which is huge. Everybody that is involved within that company, whether you're the WWE champion or you're the guy that's jobbing out every week, wants to see the company succeed. So you have a place to work. You have a place to grow. You have a place to thrive. And you have a place to survive. But by making Survivor Series more successful, it makes the company more money. That's more money that is able to be put back into the product, back into the company. And it also increases interest in the product, increase the ratings, and helps the overall picture. You had CM Punk going into the situation. Yeah, he's a heel, but he's still getting cheered. He's kind of a tweener. And, I mean, you just gave him so much heat. People are going to pay to watch Survivor Series just to see John Cena and Ryback kick his ass. Plain and simple. You want to set up a guy that people wants to see his ass get kicked. And that's what they did. I mean, when it comes to business, brilliant business decision. When it comes to ethics and it comes to taste, like I said, kind of falls in the middle. Understand as a business why they did it. All parties that were involved agreed. But at the same right, you know, I had a mother who survived a heart attack. And I'll be plain and simple with you guys. I'll level with you. I had a mother who survived a heart attack. She also survived a horrible bout of pneumonia about 10, 11 months after. She actually had that fluid pumped out of her lungs. It was a really stressful year. She was in really, really bad shape, and she was still young. She was less than 50 when all this happened. And you know what? That's where the ethical side of this comes into play. And it's like, man, you know, I was there at the hospital. I saw this firsthand, and now we're kind of just poking fun at it. But at the same rate, you got to remember, it is a big story. This is an entertainment company. I mean, if we watched a movie where a situation like this happens, we would have been like, oh, great film, or I didn't like the film, whatever it may be. It's the same situation. I mean, that's like saying because the actor had a heart attack and he portrayed a guy that had a heart attack in the movie, now it's in bad taste. I mean, you guys can see where me personally, a moral dilemma comes into play. So I gave you some of my thoughts. I gave you some of my opinions. I gave you some of my feedback. And now it's up to you guys, my fans and subscribers, the best fans and subscribers in the entire YWC, and I will stand by that to my dying day, to my last video. I am so thankful and I'm so appreciative that you guys watch these videos. You comment below. You leave your feedback. You like, you dislike, whatever it may be. We don't have to agree, but you guys coming back here, you guys watching is what made this thing so successful. I'll catch you later. Can't wait to hear your comments. And for the effing brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web, my name is Brian Crazy. I'll catch you later.